Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I told this person, like, could you please provide some context, because I know what he's trying to do, but
Yeah, but also this is we want to move this out of a working group, right? This is because of the merger of Bosch.io or the Bosch packages repo into our organization, into Cloud Foundry. Right, that's why the org automation started to work. But we actually want this to be in a different working group. So I wouldn't spend too much time on this.
no, I looked at it. It seems sane, but dude, provide some information and
Yeah, sure.
come on, from a historical perspective. It's just
Yeah, like from a general open source best practices point of view, yes.
This needs to be removed for it's because it's super old. I don't care. This is migrate from adopt OpenJDK is ook een Bosch package Java release. Seems sane. You can just Google it. Basically, adopt OpenJDK is just changed to Adoptium. So yeah, looks good to me.
Okay.
It's something that needs to be reviewed.
Who else is looking at this? Can you assign reviewers, or should I do it?
Approvers. Okay. Review it. Yeah, this is for Bosch bootloader. I don't know who else will. Approver. Yeah, this makes sense because by default for Bosch bootloader, it was always like the old school before we had a Nets gateway ability in Google. So this is like 4 or 5 year old historical thing.
Is this changing the default behavior, or is it like opt-in?
So it's changing the default. It's basically it's now setting up a net, and it's creating a net router. The only other thing we need to do is after this we need to also we can also change the ephemeral because by default now ephemeral external IP is false in the Bosch bootloader. In the Bosch deployment config, I think.
For the director or what?
Yeah, here ephemeral external IP is by default false in the Bosch deployment, and by now putting these changes in for the net gateway, it will then be able to, VMs would then be able to contact the internet from the VMs.
Hello.
Do you understand?
Hi.
Yeah, so you mean that before they didn't, by default, they were not able to connect to the internet, right? Unless you set that ephemeral IP address to true for every instance.
Yeah, for Bosch bootloader created instances, yes. But this is only bootloader specific.
Yeah, but it would at least be good to call it out in the release notes.
I will put it in the release notes. That they don't have to need to create an override.
Yeah, so they no longer have to create an override, but
Yeah.
also it means that things. I mean, I don't know if it was actually a feature that it was not that you weren't able to call out to the internet. Doesn't really make sense. I think Bosch bootloader is not like used for creating air-gapped environments, or at least that's not how it's. I don't
No,
know.
it's
It's-
not how it works with bootloader.
No, it's not like set up for that. It's
It
more
was
of a
basic-
limitation.
It was basically a bug and a limitation. What?
Yeah.
That we now corrected. Because
Yeah.
and it's from like 4 or 5 years ago, we had like ephemeral external IP to true for everything.
Mhm.
And
But-
that created so much costs with it because you need to create an external IP for everything. So yeah, this is fixed now.
And this will end up setting a different gateway on all the instances. Will it update it will update the networking section in the cloud config, I assume.
No, it's basically only Google Inside stuff.
So instances won't be redeployed to use this.
No, it's in the network itself. So Google networking, the network you set up, it will create a router.
Yeah, well,
And
that
will-
should be the default gateway then, right, on all the instances.
Yes, but that's by default true, right?
I don't know how that works. Like, is that how it was already configured? Where did it point to?
I think so.
Is there no changes in the cloud config?
No, there are no changes in the cloud config because this is all Google GCP internal stuff.
Okay.
This is the Bosch itself doesn't know anything about this. It doesn't care. It just expects that it's able to connect the internet.
Okay.
This is still waiting for changes.
I think we can match this because I was looking in the wrong place regarding integration tests, and now
Okay.
looking into this integration test won't make much sense because agent internally makes the finds the disk by ID or by the path, and from outside is a little bit hard to find out how agent discovered the disk.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
Yeah, that's why I will merge this one because it has already the approval of Ruben.
Yeah,
No.
just do the approve and run stuff, and then we can.
I can remove my request for change and
This can be merged now, right? Because yesterday we did the release for the tags.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Merge. Does Matthias approve this?
I just noticed that there is a
Mm.
change on it, right?
Ruben, is Matthias not an approver?
No.
He's a reviewer, which means that by approving it, he made a contribution which counts to, I don't know, the number of contributions that he needs to make to become an approver.
And-
That's
Oh, yeah,
the
that's-
idea.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I merge it.
But do we already have approvers, enough approvals from approvers?
Yeah. Well, we had like Matthias and
Yeah,
Kenneth.
but Matthias's approval doesn't count yet.
But Kenneth approved those.
Dude,
Yeah, so but we need 2 approvals, right? From approvers
Ah, okay.
and
Okay,
not from a
but-
reviewer. I mean, yeah, it's annoying. But like,
well, I was able to merge it, so it seems my my credentials.
yes,
then
because we have
match.
no branch protection yet.
Okay.
That's a good
So
segue,
you-
actually.
Ramon, you have to review it now.
Yeah. He said, Looks good to me.
Yes, I checked this one.
Yeah,
And
it's
it was,
awesome.
I don't know how we didn't notice this.
Yeah, I'm glad that Ramon's name is now attached to this feature. If it turns out to be a bit buggy, then at least know how to blame.
We should let Ramon more often moderate the meeting.
Yeah.
Afterwards, everything is merged, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only if there's like risky stuff being merged.
Few issues. Apparently he filled another one.
Why do people keep trying to install this binary?
I don't know. No idea what he wants.
Oh,
It's not something that you should use.
like, didn't we have like an issue about this like not long ago? What did we say there? Like, I think we have a closed issue about this, where we told someone that this is not.
Should we maybe document that we do not support this in our
Yeah.
list?
Put binaries in a GitHub release. Maybe that's.
From Dr. Nick 2016.
I believe we had one, but this is the S3 one, right?
Yeah,
I
this
believe we
is
had
true.
like one like a few months ago.
Yeah, I also remember something in that direction.
Oh, isn't that the ARM build? Like, because we have
Apparently he
something
got
in
it
the open
working.
source which we like to hide. That's the problem we're having here. It's too findable.
Yeah. I don't know.
You shouldn't
Apparently
name it.
the other guy
S3.
got it working. It should be able that you get it to work. Yes. What is he trying to do? It seems that this is just a Go issue. What are we doing here? Oh, we're using 120.
I mean, maybe you can just point him to that comment that I made, that this is not like a thing that's supposed to be consumed this way, just for the SEM cell.
Yeah, you
Or we
can
need
do
to
that.
change our stance and start maybe putting releases on GitHub.
You can do that once you're back.
But that's more work. Yes, we all know that's not gonna happen.
I will
Also,
look
it's
into
gonna
it.
be like a lot of work to
I will look into
update
it
all the.
tomorrow and see
Hmm?
if I can get something to work. And
Yeah, but the thing is that the pipeline is also. Weren't you looking into consolidating the pipelines for the
No.
different?
no,
Oh, you did.
someone mentioned it to me,
Yes, someone
and
mentioned.
it
Would be
seems
nice.
it seems that someone made the effort to do the Bosch S3 CLI, the Azure CLI we already had, and someone tried to put the GCS CLI there, but I have no
Mhm.
idea who. So first I need to know who tried that. Who tried to run this?
Okay, maybe ask long.
Okay, yeah, maybe long. I will try. And then and once those CIs are up, I will try to merge everything into one big repository so everyone is happy.
Yeah, because if it's all in one place, then it maybe makes sense to also, instead of putting it in an S3 bucket, put the releases on GitHub.
Yeah.
Then these problems will go away. But I mean, like in the meantime, it doesn't hurt to comment on the issue that this is actually at this moment not a supported use case.
I will try tomorrow and see what's wrong, and then I will try to install it, and then I will reply that how I got it to work and that we don't support this.
Okay, thanks.
Dear BBM, seems like a fake release. 1, 2, 3.
Which versions are released between 1.1? So maybe
Is CF deployment also running into this? Who raised this issue?
I don't know. I looked into, but I cannot see from where it is coming.
You follow him apparently.
Yeah, but I don't know. Don't remember.
That's okay. What is the actual freaking error?
Like what I'm wondering is why didn't catch the BPM pipeline
Yeah.
catch this?
Yeah, but it seems to be like he's doing this with RabbitMQ and Cloud Foundry.
He's on OpenStack. Maybe this is OpenStack.
I think this is. I think he's trying to compile. No, compiling one pre one C.
Because like BPM should be self-contained, right? It's bringing its own run C.
Yeah.
So I don't understand where this problem is coming from.
But who else is having these issues?
Yeah.
Has anyone at SAP seen these issues already, or? OpenStack 148.
So is it a stem cell issue or a run C? So is run C no longer compatible with the latest stem cell? Why isn't the
That's what he's saying. From in 125 it worked, and on 148 and 147 it doesn't work.
And which
Like-
version we have in Bosch? Because he's trying RabbitMQ, but what we have in Bosch?
Well, just Ruby freaking warnings, not something. No such power directly. Okay.
But is it actually run C or is it cheaper? Like, is it a different dependency that's the problem?
Yeah. I don't think we have the complete error here.
Huh? No such file directory go?
Yeah, so env, and it's like go no such file directory. So it seems like go build. What he's trying to do with go build, and go is not on the path. That's what it looks like.
That seems really weird.
Yeah, because here we do export path and we do go lang 120 Linux bin. So go should be on the path.
So in Bosch deployment, we have version 0.80, so we have to catch up with the updates.
Okay.
Can someone look at the BPM pipeline? Is that testing against the latest stem cells? Or can we kick it off?
BPM is a VMware pipeline.
If only someone from VMware was on the call.
Yeah, if only. Yeah, dude, no, I cannot get it.
I don't know
Or
if I
do
can
I?
explain
No.
it. When
Which one is using bonus? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So our pipelines are using it. So that's a bit weird, right? Then our pipeline should also fail. And even my batch testing should fail.
yeah.
I have no idea at this point. We can just go to the next one. Just if someone has the time, can I please take a look?
Yeah, maybe it would be good to ask Joseph to look into this. Because he can look at the pipeline. I will ask him. I will do it on Slack.
Yeah. The hell is this? VM is being created with Microsoft DNS, even when local DNS is specified. What are these weird issues where people coming up with? It's summer. Come on, stay at home. Isn't this because Azure uses it's the same as with the time server stuff? That Azure always uses the upstream DNS server in the end? No, it should first use Bosch DNS and then.
Sorry, I was taking care of the previous issue. What was the issue here?
It says the VM is being created with MS DNS even when local DNS is specified. This is for Azure. But I thought that
Shouldn't they just disable that on the Azure side?
I don't know. I don't know any. I don't work enough with Azure too. Does
Okay,
anyone from
yes.
SAP know this?
They
Like a
use Post DNS. They maybe don't use Post DNS. So at SAP we are using Post DNS. I don't know whether they use Post DNS here. And Post DNS has also some logic to manipulate that resolve conf and add Post DNS as first.
But it seems that internal DNS entries are included, but the first one is MS Public DNS Server.
It looks like they configure this in the manifest. So,
Yeah, there's just like different levels, right? You have the DHCP thing, then you have the entries by Bosch, by the wasn't there a director level, a cloud config level, and then you have the Bosch DNS override. Bosch DNS should always be the first,
Yes.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming this is just like coming through DHCP. So this looks like something they have configured at the like network at the VPC level or something, because that the whole IP address is never doesn't show up in any of the configuration, right?
Well, no, they have it here, the internal DNS. This is what they tend to do.
they use the DNS ops file from Post deployment.
But the problem is about the 168.63, that one, right? That
Yeah, the problem is the order. So this one should be latest, basically.
but it doesn't like they have not entered that anywhere, right?
No.
So they get that through the HTTP.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think so, yeah. They get this.
They need to do the redirects properly, right?
Or they should just use one configuration source. So either they should just use Bosch to configure all of them and disable the HTTP, or they should just use Bosch DNS, which will inject itself always as the first entry, and then just configure Bosch DNS with different precursors, because then they control the whole list through Bosch DNS.
But it seems
That's
that
what I
they're
would do.
doing that with this. It seems that they're missing DNS. So I don't see here where they configure it with the DHCP somewhere, or do you think they configured it?
DHCP is like just what you get from the like by spinning up your machine, like it gets that.
Yeah, I mean, but do you think they configured that in their networking?
Yeah, in their networking. It's just like in their network on their, I don't know, DHCP server on it's like a default thing that's just enabled in and then once an instance boots up, it also gets that IP address.
Who's
And-
using servers?
And I don't know, like VPC is probably not the right word, right? It's probably called different on Azure, but like. Because there's no way to control the order. I mean, unless like everything that's controlled by Bosch should be properly ordered, but if there's things through a different configured through a different source, you have no control. The easiest solution, I would say, is just use Bosch DNS and configure the recursors there, and then it will make sure to inject itself as the first entry.
Yeah. OpenStack CPI, for example, supports disabling the DHCP. I don't know about others.
Let's go on this. Look.
Yeah, and then Bosch DNS can be configured with the recursors that they have in that list, right?
Oh, this is from Ben. You have some work to do, Ben.
Yeah, I noticed that our documentation around this MPFS is not great.
Seems like open for contribution to me.
Yeah. I can ask ChatGPT about suggestion here.
Open
Yeah,
for contribution.
I wanted to do. I just opened this to not forget because I got a question. I saw a question that direction and looked into details and documentation also.
Yeah, it seems not. Yeah, our documentation is not really good anyway. So a lot of features. I also noticed again that we still haven't updated the support for native IS disk resizes for with CPI that supports and the proper documentation on it.
Yeah.
Do that as well.
So from the docs, it's not clear that you can configure the run the size, for example, and how this configuration relates to the feature this use TempFS config. Somehow it's confusing, but I will look into this.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Well,
I think this
if
is
you
the
find it out, would be awesome if you can update the docs.
This is going to be a bit trial and error. See how this exactly behaves.
You can always ask Joseph. He sometimes knows this stuff.
No, you can unrelated. You can configure job tier and run tier with a size of TempFS, and the feature is unrelated to this because the feature is about where to put the agent settings. And from the docs, you don't get that information. At least this is my understanding from the code I was looking at. Yeah, I can ask them for everything.
Yeah. Okay, that was it then. Do we have anything else?
Maybe a short outlook. We plan to provide some PRs to integrate the Azure Storage CLI into the Bosch director.
Oh,
so
nice.
that we then can use the Azure Blob Store.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
And
Do you already have something,
we
or is it just still need to do it? Or is it just waiting on a PR?
Yeah, We will split it into several PRs.
Oh,
But yeah. Only
And-
one, I already want to mention it.
nice.
And we do have 2 questions, so related to the details. And could you open the Bosch director report?
Push.
Sorry, what was the question?
You want me
And-
to open the Bosch directory repo?
Yes, and in the CI directory, so the continuous integrate, there is a pipeline to auto bump the, for example, the S3 CI binary version. But I do not know where is the actually pipeline located. Is it located in some internal Concourse pipeline? And should I apply for the access to that pipeline?
It's in the VMware pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the VMware concourse. We should move these things over. Just a slow process.
So there is no way for example, for the SAP colleagues to have access to that pipeline, right?
At
To
the
test
moment,
it.
I believe no. But we should.
Okay.
I know why this was. I was working on this to put it over, but we needed Windows Concourse workers, and I fixed that. But then we needed to contact people from Concourse that they were going to maintain the.
Wasn't that the agent?
Oh, that was the agent. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Then
I think there's no such blockers for the director.
well, then we can just put over the director at some point.
Okay,
I mean, is there no Windows here? Nope. No Windows. Okay.
Beyan, shall we have a discussion with Joseph about this?
Yes, but we can at least put the new pipelines for the Azure Storage CLI into the community.
Yeah, we
context.
already have that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
already have that.
That's just for publishing the CLI itself, yeah. But then there's also gonna be work to get it in the stem cell as well. I think there's also auto bumping in the stem cell pipeline, but that one should be in the community concourse.
You mean in the stage directory, the auto bump, the 3 files, the SHA-256, the version, and
Yeah, but the
and
auto bump is
URL.
done. All those things are maintained in the.
Should we create an overview of the pipelines we have and think about what makes sense next to move to the community? Because
So the Azure ones should be in here. So these are the Blobstorff S3 presets.
But
we
but
should-
this is only for the Linux stem cell builder, not for the director, right?
No, this is in the stem cell
Yeah.
builder, and the Bosch, the director uses it directly from the stem cell builder. the
No,
Stem cells.
no,
Really?
it doesn't.
No, because I see there is also a bumper in the
Yeah.
director CR continuous integrate pipeline to
Yes,
bump
it's
the
in,
version.
it's in 2 places. It's auto bumped into the stem cell as well as the Bosch director release. And I believe the reason is for Bosch create M to work. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe.
Why do we have it then in both things?
Because reason. I think it's because that the Bosch director can work on older stem cells that might otherwise you would be like tying yourself to a specific stem cell if you need newer versions of the CLI.
Because here we are in Doveshare 240, and here we have 237.
Ramon, this is just a feature. This is not a bug at all. Don't look too much into it. It's awesome. It's beautiful.
Okay, I'm stop looking. My brain is breaking.
And the Bosch .ci.codfoundry.org, that's public accessible, or also need
Yeah,
to
that's the
require?
community one. That's
Okay.
hosted in the foundation account, and like we want other things to move there. And I think the access setup there is so that people in like this is tied to roles in the foundation, right? So the teams that are created by the org automation, these teams have access. So I think the approvers should have access, more access than I think like many things are public, but for some things you might need to be an approver to be able to see it.
Okay, so yeah, okay, got it.
You can see the status, but once you go in, you cannot see the logs basically if you're not an approver.
Yeah, and once you are an approver, you can, I think, also update the pipelines and stuff.
Yes.
So, on my screen, yeah, I see the Bosch Azure Storage CLI. I didn't see the stem cell builder that pipeline. I think that's for that one. We need the
Yeah, the
approval.
stem cell builder pipeline is a different theme, right? We have two different areas. We have one area for Bosch, and we have one for the stem cell release engineering something group. It's a bigger group.
I mean the Ampere version in stem cell builder repo.
Do you mean Bosch stem cell?
So we
the
have
stem cell.
so here there is a robot or the CI bot which automatically bump, and you can check stem cell builder.
Oh, you want the stem cell CI repo?
Yeah, there's a different repo.
There's
Bosch
a whole.
stem cell.
Okay, that's why I didn't see this the pipeline in the stem cell builder repo. Okay,
For this, you need to have some YTT knowledge because it's all for loops and if statements,
okay.
etc. So yeah, you can figure it out. I can show you once if you, but here we have like for the blob store types, we have dev, GC, S3, and if you configure Azure there, I think, yeah, we hear the blob store type. So then it will, I think it will almost do everything magically.
I'm assuming it needs to know the buckets because it's probably going to be in a different bucket, right? I don't know where that mapping comes from.
Not sure if it's in a different bucket because all of them are
Here
built
we
in the
can,
same concourse, right?
So the only thing you need to add is basically this bucket where it gets the stuff from.
Okay.
So you need to update, you need to add here for Azure, and then you also need to add blob store type here. And then everything itself then will be done in this.
Okay.
Will be done in this for loop. This loop. You want me to put it in the chat?
Yes, please. Because I searched in the Google this report, but I do not find it.
Chat.
I will need to leave, but there is also an RFC in the community repository about PCAP release integration to Bosch. This is something our routing team at SAP was building to have some kind of network tracing.
The
And,
next one, come on. RC for
okay.
integrating PCAP release with Bosch. The fifth one.
no,
Yeah.
this one, yeah. If
Yeah.
someone is interested, can look. Yeah. If
Yeah.
someone wants to provide feedback, please check this. Basically,
Yeah, I
this
will
is-
be looking into this next week.
yeah, okay, great. I also asked Joseph to look into this.
Yes.
It's basically this last part, right? Like what are we going to do for we're basically going to integrate it in the agent,
Agent, director, and Bosch.
and they want to have this PCAP API available on the /info for Bosch
Yes.
info.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems all pretty reasonable. Okay. Do you have anything else? Otherwise, see you guys next week.
See you.
See you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks for hosting, Ramon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Thanks.